Hello, this is Renee Ellison, wanting to help you be a better mother. Today's session is called The Power of a Focused Mother. You know, in this generation, we have a whole crop of mothers who have been largely missing in action to one degree or another. So we want to look at that today a little more seriously and decide where that is going and what that's resulting in. A good question to ask yourself as a mother is, would I want me for a mother? In other words, from your child's point of view, look at yourself as a mother and ask, would I want me for a mother? You had your own childhood and you had your own mother. And how did that story go? What could your mother have done to make it better for you? Well, now it's your season. It's your call. And so what could you do to be a better mother? Well, many children are growing up emotionally abandoned. Even though they are there, they're present in their families, their little hearts aren't filled. Their little love banks aren't filled. And so let's analyze why this is happening. Well, it's happening for two reasons. Many moms are overly occupied, and then they're overly preoccupied. Overly occupied means many activities outside the home. And there are various degrees of this, and you just have to examine your own heart to see what is a level that you think is producing good results. So it's being overly involved in outside activities. Might be in church, doing all kinds of things there for other people's children, and your children are kind of saying, Mom, notice me. Or it could be group activities, again, where you're distracted by other people's children. It could be work projects that you're doing, or athletic clubs, or friends that you have, or extended family members that are demanding too much of your time, like your mother or your aunt or your relative. And you can't really influence those lives very much, but you can really influence your own child. There, the door is wide open and you can have great influence there. So in terms of an investment of your time, you want to look at where you're having the most influence and what the results are going to be. Now let's take this whole area of preoccupation. This is something our mothers and grandmothers didn't have to deal with very much. But with the introduction of social media and iPhones, this has gotten way out of hand. And so little children are looking to their moms and finding that their moms are always preferring something else. So we don't want to be lined up with moms that are neglecting the emotional life of their children. I have a little story to tell you about getting treats on an airplane. Years ago, when I was a little child and you would fly, you would get very delicious treats on an airplane. But over the years, they got slimmer and slimmer, and they got more preservatives in them, and now you can get little treats on airplanes that are as good as eating the cardboard or the wrapper. They're so filled with preservatives, and they're not very much fun to eat anymore. And my husband as well grew up traveling, and he used to just really look forward to when those stewardesses would go down the aisle and offer him something. And over the years, he would just be crestfallen. His expectations were dashed again and again at what there was to eat. And so finally, in our last flights over the last several years, I've nudged him when the stewardess starts down the aisle, and I've said, honey, just don't expect anything. Don't look up. Just keep reading your book. And we'll eat our own treats that we brought from home. Well, that's what happens to your child when always you're saying later, or you're saying not now, or you're saying I'm busy, or you're saying don't bother me, or you're saying I just have to think now. When you do that over and over and over to your little child, pretty soon he learns you have trained him to not look up anymore for that treat and for that emotional nourishment from his mom. You know, if you don't pay much attention to the little talk of your little one over the frog he just found outside, then you can't expect to be there, that he'll want you there in a discussion about who he's going to marry years down the road. So you earn your child's emotional excitement about discussing things with you by beginning with little conversations and by welcoming the child instead of pushing the child away at every turn in the road of motherhood. So you want to decide now, where are your children in your vast emotional state, your estate, in all of the things you're involved in, your estate, your grand estate? Where are your children? in your view of your estate. If you have liked these little tips, you can find a more extended discussion of this on our website, which is homeschoolhowtos.com, in our ebook, The Power of a Focused Mother. It goes into details you probably never have thought about before.